Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this simple drop waist dress. It's a very simple tutorial, very easy to make. You can easily make this in less than 30 minutes and you are good to go. So if you are interested in this video, please let's get right into it. Welcome once again. So we'll first be working on the upper part of the dress, and I have two folded pieces, one for the front and one for the back. The back is longer than the front by 1 inch for zipper allowance. So I first mark my starting line. Then from the starting line, I marked my armhole. I marked my bust point, my under bust, my waist, that means the shoulder to waist measurement, and then to the length of the upper part of the dress. Mine is 23 inches. So we have our starting line, armhole or chest line, bust point, under bust, waist, and then the rest of the upper part, which is 23 inches. So I'm going to be reducing the armhole by 5 inches. So from the starting line, I'm going to count down by 5 inches to create the new starting line or the shoulder line, okay? On this new shoulder line or starting line, you're going to be marking your shoulder to shoulder divided by 2. Mine is 6.5 inches. I'm going to mark that one. On my bust line, I mark my bust divided by 4. On my waist divided by 4. And then on the hemline, I'm going to mark my upper part or upper waist. That is about 6 inches below your waistline divided by 4, okay? My normal waist to hip is 8 inches, but the upper part of my hip is from the waist is 6 inches. So that is what I mark. So you have to measure that one. And mine divided by 4 is 9 inches. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. So you're going to connect the shoulder line to that of the chest line or the bust line, and then you curve it like so. On the waistline and then on all the horizontal lines, you're going to be marking your nipple to nipple divided by 2. Mine is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. So you're going to connect these points like so to form a vertical line. Remember, that is our dot line. Now I'm going to go out by half inches on the waistline, on the under bust line, and then on the bust point line, I'm going to come down by ½ inch, and then upwards by ½ inch. I'm going to connect these points to form my dot line. The same for the upper hip area, ½ inch on both sides. So on the new starting line, what you're going to do is you can either come in by 1 inch on the left or on the right for the bust tightening, or you can share it among the two sides by ½ inches on each side, okay? So I came out on both sides by ½ inches. So you're going to be replacing now that intake. So I place 1 inch on each side for the dart intake. The same for the chest line, and then that of the shoulder line. And then you curve it to form the new armhole. So you can now decide on which neckline you want. I am going for this cone shape or straight neckline. So I went up by 1.5 inches from the chest line. And I curve it right from the armhole to that 1.5 inch mark above the chest line. This will help with proper coverage of your bust area. And then I added 2 inches sewing allowance on each side for both the front and then the back. Remember, we are cutting both at the same time. So you can go ahead and cut it out like so. So we're going to be cutting the same neckline for both the back and then the front, and then we will be adjusting the back neckline later on. Also draw a line to indicate the zipper allowance. It makes it easier for you to know how much allowance you left for the zipper. Then on the dart point, you're going to notch for both the front and then the back. So now we have our front and then our back, and we're going to be putting our back aside, and we're going to be working on our front pattern. So you can go ahead and cut out your dart. And then we are going to have 3 pieces for the front. So you bring in the back one, and then from that 1 inch mark for the zipper allowance, you are going to draw your dart line as you see me do. And then you bring in the side part of the front panel to trace out the horizontal lines. This makes it easier for me all the time. You just trace out the waist, the under bust, the bust, and then the armhole line. Very easy and very simple. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like and share to your friends who are interested in sewing. Click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate you guys. So we are drawing in the dart line for our back, and just like we did for the front, I came out on each side by 1/2 inch, and then from the chest line we're going to go up by 1.5 or 2 inches to form the dart line of that of the back. I hope you understand. So you're going to reshape the neckline of the back. So from the armhole, you're going to curve it into the zipper allowance. I hope you understand. And then you're going to be tightening the back neckline to prevent any gaping. So you go in and out by 1/2 inches just like you did for the front. And now our back dart is well constructed, and we can go ahead and cut it out. So you're going to slit open the center back, or where the zipper is going to be. So we're going to have 4 pieces for the back and then 3 pieces for the front. I hope you understand. So what you're going to do is you're going to flip each side, good side facing each other, and then you're going to sew in the dart allowance. The same for the front. You're going to flip the side onto the center front. Then you're going to sew the same for the other side. So I've gone ahead to sew the dart lines or the dart allowance, and I've also top stitched on the front side to create this amazing design in the front. I did the same for the back. I sew in the dart line and then I top stitch on the front side or the good side of the fabric. So what we are going to do next is we are going to bring in our front, then we are going to place our back side by side, front side facing each other, making sure the side aligns very well. You are going to sew with the allowance or your body measurements on the side. So I've gone ahead to sew the side with my body measurement, and this is what I have. It's now time for us to shape the side of the upper part of this dress. So what you do is you flip in the back side then you're going to fold over like I'm doing. Then you're going to come up by 3 inches. You can go up by 4 inches depending on how sharp you want your curve to be. So I came up by just 2.5 inches and I curve it back into the center, just as you see me do. I'm going to cut it out. So this is what we have for the upper part. You see the waistline is curving a little bit on the upper hip area. You see how beautiful it is. So it's now time for us to work on the neckline of the upper part. So I went in to cut out a bias of 1.5 inches on fold. I cut 2 pieces. So this is how you cut a bias. You just fold diagonally, just as I'm doing it. You just measure how much you want for your particular project and just cut it like so. So I'm going to be joining 2 straps together because my initial one was not enough. So this is how you join it together. You see, so you just fold it that way, and I'm going to stitch with just a 1/4 inch. After doing that, you just fold it over to the right side. Then you're going to line it at the top part of the front or the upper bodice. You can decide to stitch from the inner side and then flip it over to the outer side, or do the other way around. When you decide to sew from the inner side and top stitch or flip onto the front side, you're going to have it just like I have. You're going to have the strap or the bias fold in front, and I think it gives a very nice look to the dress, just as mine turned out. So I sew from the inside and flip it towards the front side. You see how beautiful our top part is. So we're going to put that aside and I'm going to be working on the garters. So I have this long fabric. It's 36 inches in length, and then the width is 3 times my waist measurement. So I'm going to be sewing a loose stitch on one side and I'm going to be gathering it just like you see me doing. So I've gone ahead to sew 2 long loose stitch, then I'm going to be gathering it. Please take your time so that you do not rip off your thread. It is always better to do 2 long loose stitches. It really helps for reinforcement. So you go ahead and gather that side where you have stitched, and after you've done that, you're going to bring in your upper part or your upper part of the dress. You're going to open it just as you see me do. You find the center of the gathers, flip it over, front side facing each other, and you're going to spread the gathers or the down parts on the bottom of the upper part. So after you've done that and you've realized that it is even on each side, you're going to take it to the sewing machine. You're going to stitch with 1/2 inches sewing allowance. So I've gone ahead to sew with 1/2 inches sewing allowance, and then when you flip it to the right side, this is what we have. So we are left to attach our zipper, and our dress is fully done. So what you're going to do is, you see the loose stitches you created on the down part, you're going to take it out to release tension from the down part. You take your time and you take all of them out, okay? So I made these straps, which I'll be using as my sleeve. I'll be attaching these straps in both the front and then the back. You can also decide to leave it strapless if you want. So this is the final look of this outfit. Very easy, very simple to make. I hope you try it out. See you next time in my next video. Bye.